Okay, hi everyone. It is early morning, and I'm getting ready for work. Well, I'm ready for work, but it's raining, and I don't know if I want to drive in that. But I was having a thought. I haven't been able to post anything for a while because I'm being trained as a therapist, and I still have my part-time job that I do on weekends. So it's been pretty busy. Plus, I've been challenging myself to do commissions. So now I started working on faces. I think I have like 30 something pieces now in my collection. And I'm starting to do eBay and selling online, which I almost got scammed recently, but that's for another video. But I wanted to do a video because I realized that, well, I've known for a while that most of my friends and the people I came across in life were, I don't like saying fake friends, but I would say just didn't have my best interests at heart. And I want everyone, especially people that are introverts, people that have attachment issues, people who have self-confident issues and people pleasing issues to recognize when this is happening in order to not become a victim, because I don't like victim mentality. I really don't. Yes, I've been victimized many times, but it's not my identity and it's not my go-to. It's not my go-to. It's not something I want to be proud of. So, I give you a little history about me. Growing up, we weren't allowed to have friends, okay? The neighborhood people were like foreigners to us. We were like foreigners to the neighborhood people because we were told not to talk to them. So even in school, I remember, I think I was in the third grade, I was like mute. I wasn't talking to any human being, and my teacher wanted to talk to my mom about it. And of course, my mom was embarrassed, so she made it seem like I was just stupid and didn't want to talk to people. But they grew us like that. So when I started getting older, I started to make an effort to make more friends. Of course, it always fell flat the older you got. And I had a best friend that I met when I was around 11. And our friendship lasted till I was close to 30. What I found would happen is that I would overextend myself to build these friendships and maintain these friendships no matter what it took. And I always got burnt out because it just wasn't happening. However, I would put a lot more energy into the friendships that I already have, which is a good thing. Now, this friendship that I'm talking about is almost 20 years. We were friends before we went through puberty. We were not even friends. We were like twins. We were like literal twins. Like we could complete each other's sentences. We had literally the same ideas. We wanted to do the same thing in school. We were like the same person. But in retrospect, when I look back, there were little hints that something was wrong because I would. Oh, I think this is gonna make a lot of noise, so I might as well silent it with all these Outlook emails. Whenever he and I encountered new people, the people would seem okay, but the moment they left or I left, then the feedback would be always be negative. Like he always said, people said negative things about me. Now, because of the way our parents grew us, which I'm not blaming them, they just didn't have the right tools. I would internalize everything and I felt like a worthless person. And so people like him would bask in it and always reaffirm the negative that he heard about me. Fast forward to coming to the United States, I had to live with him for the first 4 or 5 months, and that's when he turned up the mental abuse. First of all, when I came, the first week, he told me that I was fat. I was like, I think I was 30 pounds, 30 pounds lighter. I mean, look at me, anyway, I was like 30 pounds lighter. And he told me that I was fat and people in America don't like fat people. That's what he said. Every time I would go out on a casual date, like dinner or something, and then I ended up like staying at a club or going out or something, he would message me before he went to bed and say, "Oh, remember AIDS." Like he'll do stuff like that. Anyway, I couldn't take it anymore, so I moved away to Pennsylvania. We still maintained communication, but it slowly got further and further apart. And then he started exhibiting signs of an identity crisis, a racial identity crisis, where he didn't hang out with black people at all. This dude is like three shades darker than me. He would not hang out with black people. He changed his name to a more European name. But the tipping point for me was, well, oh, I forgot this one. People would see us both and be like, "Oh, so when is he getting a tattoo?" And he would say, "Oh, you don't put bumper stickers in Bentley." Trying to make an offhanded comment, I would say, "Well, I did not tell you I was a Bentley. I'm actually a race car, and I need to get all the stickers on me." Anyway, the end of our friendship was when both my parents got ill. I went in the hospital, terminally ill, on my birthday in 2017, and I told him I was supposed to visit someone in New York, but I was going to stop by him. But when all of this happened, imagine your parents go from healthy to one has cancer, one has kidney failure on your birthday. Everybody else is secondary. You know, you're more concerned about the fact that it looks like your parents are going to die out of the blue at 62 years old, both of them. So I told him this, and all he could say was sorry to hear. This was someone that if my parents got ill or his parents got ill, it was almost like our parents got ill because we were so close. This was a point I realized that this friendship has reached its end and I had to move on. In retrospect, I would look back at things and realize that even when he had a master's degree and I only had a high school diploma, he would still find things to criticize me about. He would still try to find things to make me small, as if I didn't feel small enough. He had a job. I didn't have documents in the US. I didn't have a degree. I didn't have 2 degrees. I didn't have anything. And he would still be jealous of the simple things. Then, I had a friend group. And this is more recent. I'll be bouncing all over the place because I did not script this. But I had a friend group of people, and I think I've mentioned them before. They're all high professionals. 2 were professors. One, I think a surgeon. I think 2 of them were surgeons, and then one was like insurance underwriter or something. These people all made like probably triple what I made. Now I live in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and coming from New York, drinks here are ridiculously cheap. I've gone to the bar and gotten almost drunk off $9 because drinks are very cheap. And we would go out, and I don't like alcohol. A glass of wine can last me 2 hours. But they would keep buying, and a lot of times I'm barely getting my way around, and so I started seeing someone, so I was out with them less, and when I try to reconnect, like after a month or so, I was told that it's best that I burnt those bridges, and it's best for me and the initial person that I met to just hang out separately. Now, in retrospect, I wanted to know exactly what happened, but then I could see the signs and I ignored them. When we went out one night, 2 girls came up to us and was like, "You are so beautiful. You're a beautiful man. You are beautiful." And then one of the girls looked at him and asked him if he was French, and he fucking flipped and he started saying she's a fucking bitch and blah, blah, blah. And they only like me because of my piercings. I was like, "Piercings, dude, I just have 1 nose ring." She said I'm a beautiful... Like, why can't you just let me bask in the compliment? Like, you don't have to be queen bee every day. Like, let me just take the compliment, you know? It's not that serious. Another time when I was getting my citizenship, most people couldn't go because it was on a Friday and it's in a different city, like an hour and a half, 2 hours away. So my best friend came and, hold on, looks like my thing is shifting a little bit. Yeah. So my best friend came and I posted, I was like, other people, no one could make it, but, my best friend's here with me. Of course, he had to send a message, "Well, your best friend doesn't work," so no one was competing or saying you didn't want to go. I'm saying, nobody else was able to come because of the day it fell on. But of course, my twin is always here. I know he'll always hear. And I think this. Oh my god! I need a new thing. Okay, hopefully we're good. So yeah. So I started looking in retrospect and started seeing the signs. He started acting weird because I had a different set of friends. They were just acquaintances, to be honest, because I don't even talk to them. But we went to a Christmas party and took pictures. He messaged me the next day and said, I would never like pictures with those people. And this is a professor saying this. So when I asked about the whole hanging out separately or whatever, he's like, well, you don't buy rounds for people and people feel like you're taking advantage of. I'm like, taking advantage of them for fucking drinks? And he's like, well, I stayed out of it. There's my answer. So, okay. This thing is driving me crazy. Okay. This thing was driving me completely crazy. Anyway, so that was my answer right there. Remember, he introduced me to the group. I'm his friend. Your friends are gossiping about me, and you stay out of it. Okay? You stay out of it. And that was my answer. And that's when I realized that none of these people were my friends. Oh, and one of the people I brought to the group, well, one of the people from the group, I introduced to the group, and so he stopped talking to me. This dude is 56. And see, this is why I tell people psychologically we're all children that aged. Because you would not expect this from someone at 56 years old. And this same person, I can't believe, sat and had this conversation. Because this dude, when he used to hang out with me and my best friend, we would try to hide till we could pay our bill. Because he always tried to pay it. Because he said he works so much, he doesn't have family. And if that's what he can give, that's what he wanted to do. And it used to make me feel a little weird. Because of these situations, I was worried that would happen. But it happened anyway. So him saying, the original person just saying he stayed out of it and we should hang out separately. I ran a little experiment. He loves taking pictures. He doesn't go anywhere without taking pictures. So what he did, I decided to go hiking with him. And at the end of hiking, he just jumped in his car and left. He was like, oh, a selfie. I was like, because you spoke so much shit about me that now you can take picture and pose, because then now you're going to look like the asshole, because after all that you said, now you're going to have to retract, because now people are going to see we're hanging out. So I no longer, we don't talk, but we'll comment on each other's picture like, oh, nice venue, that looks nice, or we like, but we will never have that friendship again. It's completely gone because it wasn't authentic. I don't like to say people are jealous because I can't read people's minds. I don't know why he'd be jealous. He has a partner of 20 years. They have a house together and everything. I'm still living with a roommate, trying to buy my own, and But anyway, that's one. Then, of course, you have the people that just use you for a moment. And I'm not even going to go deep into that. All I can say is, if you're someone struggling with loneliness, anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, low self-esteem, anything that makes you vulnerable to people using you, I'm not saying not treat people the way you want to be treated. Treat people the way you want to be treated, but then watch out for red flags. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up was, a lot of time we ignore red flags because we hear that friendships take work, which they do. However, if it feels like you're struggling to create it, don't. Stop texting and see if anyone reaches out to you. If they don't, I'm not saying cut people off, but find something else. Don't, because even in therapy, I'm learning that a lot of people do this and they tear themselves apart because they keep trying to feed a dead horse. Not even water right now. You're feeding a dead horse because they're not interested. They're not interested because there are other things they rather do or other people they rather hang out with. Another telltale sign that I've experienced with other people where they talk to you about their issues, but then the moment you're venting to them, they either say, oh, you'll get over it, everything's gonna be okay, they can't deal with the negativity. There's another one. And then another example, which I'll try to cut, I don't want the video to be too long, but my best friend who's white, I remember he was dating someone of color, and this dude said all these horrible things about black people, that black people are not dateable, black people are this and whatever. It was a bunch of shit. And this dude was Afro-Indian. But anyway, after they broke up, he added me to Instagram. And then every time I would post something positive about my life or experience, he would come at it in a very condescending way. And I'll give examples. I paint, as everyone can tell. And one of the things I started doing were lighthouses. He would comment and say the lighthouse is beautiful. Like, thank you. Then he'll say, it looks like some famous artist that does lighthouses. I'm like, okay, I look it up. The guy's work is great, on point. Then he has to go in to let me know he has 3 paintings from this artist, and they're very, very expensive. Anyway, the next incident was when I got an article done on me by Southern New Hampshire University, and I posted it to my Instagram. And a lot of people are like, congrats, blah. He reached out and he's like, congrats. I'm like, thank you. Then he goes into, what am I doing with the degree? And I told him, I'm working, I no longer work the associate director position. I'm not being trained as a therapist. He has to criticize my choice and say, why would I do that? I'm like, well, they pay about the same, and I hated the other one. The other one was just a great title. Of course, he launched a personal attack that, I needed the title to look good on my resume and blah. And I'm like, dude, you don't get it. I'm just living my life for me. He's like, well, he makes lots of money and he has 2 houses and he has to make a lot because he has a son. I'm like, there you go. There's your answer. You have a son. You're preparing a life for him. I don't have kids and I'm likely never going to have any. So at this point, it's all about making myself happy. And then he started going on to something I don't remember. And I'm like, look, dude, I believe in euthanasia. If I'm old and I'm sad and I don't have a partner and I don't have kids and my family are old and their family, I'll just go to Sweden and get it done. I'm like, it's that serious. He started going off about how I'm trying to make him feel bad. I'm like, you got in my inbox trying to attack my choices. I don't even know you. You're not my friend. Why are you trying to one-up stuff? You're working on your PhD, great. You have abs, great. You have 3 cars, 2 houses, amazing. Why are you reaching out to me? And that's what I don't understand. Why? Why envy someone that isn't even doing too much of anything? I'm doing enough for me. And yes, I want to get better at my job. I want to get better at my artwork. I don't care. I don't care what you're doing with your time or progress. Anyway, I think the tipping point for him was when I signed that contract for Live Bearded and I posted the box of products that came. Bam, he unfollowed me immediately because I guess it was just not, I was just not one person to sit and pine over your achievements. I don't, because what I guide myself with every day is the fact that in 50 years, none of this is going to matter. I'm not going to be here. I don't think I'm going to live past 70. It's not going to, none of this is going to matter. None of this is going to matter. So why am I going to stress myself out looking at your Instagram, envying the fact that you have 2 houses? So fucking what? But anyway, that's the kind of thing I've always experienced, whether it be friends or acquaintances. Now, I will say, I can't just leave it in a negative light. I have 3 of the best friends on earth. One is from high school, one I met at the club, and the one that was dating that crazy person. These people are they are the definition of good friendships, and I will give quick explanations. The white one, I remember when my parents were dying, and he just came here one day. He's like, I don't know what to do, but I'm just going to be here. I can't pay him for that because that's all I needed. The other one that came to my citizenship, he is the foundation. He is a pinnacle of friendships. This dude did not have a green card. He had nothing. He was here, not illegally, but he was out of status for many years. I'm going to celebrate my citizenship. What does this guy do? Buy his own train ticket and comes with me to celebrate my citizenship, the highest level of immigration benefit. Well, he has nothing, putting himself at risk going into a federal building without having immigration status. Now, it doesn't get any better than that. And then the next one, we've been friends for many years since we're in the US. We go from hanging out, cooking together, getting depressed together. These are foundational people. And I'm not going to say we don't have conflicts because we do have conflicts, sometimes very bitter conflicts, but the magnet brings us back to where we need to be. And the other thing too, we don't need to talk every day. See, some people think that a friendship isn't good because you don't talk every day, or that, because someone stopped talking to you for a month, then it fell apart. No. When you're good friends, there are times you don't talk for 2 months and then you talk and you're like right back where you need to be. And that's another way you can tell if a friendship is really wholesome. If it feels like you have nothing to talk about, just let it go. You probably outgrew each other. And as I said previously, sometimes the friendships they didn't start fake. They just evolved to become fake. And you have to understand that you don't need to internalize it. Yes, you need to be self-aware to see your contribution to the failure of the friendship. But if it feels like you're just the one that's always pushing and, you feel like they're being condescending, you feel like they're not celebrating your achievements, or they're always one-up it. If you said you bought a shoe, they said, oh, how much was it? $50? Oh, I just bought one for 100. You got to be careful of the one-uppers too. That's another way to know your friendships are fake. Here we go again with this damn thing. I'm sorry, I need to buy better equipment. I just don't have the time. But, as I said, fake friendships, they can really skew the way you look at friendships and relationships in the future. And as I said, for someone like me that doesn't have family here, I rest a lot on my friendships and I put a lot of effort and meaning into them. And so I cherish them. And now, knowing my boundaries, Jesus Christ, this damn thing, knowing my boundaries will help me avoid the heartache, avoid wasting my time, and put effort into the people that actually mean something. So if you have any experiences with fake friends, the one-uppers, the one that can't celebrate your achievements, the one that point out your body flaws. Oh, and another thing, I was told, if you see a flaw in someone and you can't fix it within 10 seconds, leave it alone. Fake friends never do that. They just criticize you to make you feel like shit so they can feel better about themselves. But if there's anything you want to talk about or you want me to talk about, if only this damn thing would just stop this. Please let me know. Until then, I'm going to get ready for work and post this damn video. See you soon.